my gosh, it's been a year since I've done a health update. Oopsies. Hey dreamers, here I am with finally health update number 6, I think it is, for you guys. We have a lot to cover today, so I will try to do it briefly but thoroughly. When I last left off, we had just seen the fertility doctor after my ectopic pregnancy. I had decided that we wanted to try naturally. Basically, the results that we got from the doctor were not conclusive toward any big issue, and we felt like rather than jump straight to IVF, we were going to try naturally for a little while longer. That was in September of 2015. So fast forward to February 2016, and we had just started thinking that maybe this wasn't going to happen for us naturally, that it was time to start looking into IVF or maybe even adoption, and we were just really praying about what the next steps for us were. A couple days later, I found out I was pregnant. Obviously, all of those plans got put on the back burner, and we just started praying really hard that this one would stick, that it would be a healthy baby growing in the right place. Unfortunately, that was not the case, and I miscarried at the end of February, and we started all over again. We really weren't sure where to go after this. We weren't sure if this was a sign that maybe pursuing the IVF or the adoption wasn't the route that we were supposed to go, that we were still supposed to try naturally, knowing that we could get pregnant and maybe there were just some other health issues that hadn't been uncovered yet. We really didn't know, and we were kind of just hurting again and at a loss for where to turn. And so we took a couple months just to mourn and grieve and kind of do nothing. When we were ready, a couple months later, we decided to go back to Shady Grove Fertility Center just to get tests redone. I think the last time we had tested was the previous summer, so it had been almost a year, and we felt like maybe it would be a good idea just to figure out if anything had changed with our test results. So we went back to the doctor and uncovered a couple things. On Dode's side, not much had changed. So it seems like what we had been trying with him kind of was just a washout. Like maybe it improved the count, but it didn't help with the morphology. So no real clear answers there. But again, no huge red flags since his number was still so close to the average. For me, we actually discovered my thyroid antibody levels were elevated. So the normal range for your thyroid peroxidase antibody is between 0 and 35, and mine was 325. So pretty high. The doctor wanted to put me on thyroid medication, but my thinking was that all my thyroid numbers were good. So it seems like my thyroid is still functioning. There's just something triggering my body to attack the thyroid. So I wasn't sure I wanted to take thyroid medication because that just helps your thyroid to function or replaces the function of your thyroid. Whereas mine is already functioning fine, I wanted to just discover why it was being attacked in the first place. So I went back to researching and discovered that a lot of times the trigger for autoimmune conditions like this can be a food issue, and commonly in thyroid antibodies, gluten is the trigger. So I decided to take gluten out of my diet for a month and retest. What I discovered is that the numbers had come down. My thyroid levels, even though they were good before, they had come into an even better range. So it seemed like taking the gluten out was working. From there, I decided to do a food sensitivities panel and see if there were any other food triggers that I was sensitive to that were possibly causing this response along with the gluten. When I got the results back, there was a whole list of things that I had a response to. So along with gluten, it's also corn, dairy, oats, peanuts, soybeans, eggs, coconuts, chia seeds, ridiculous. So I changed my diet, I took all of those foods out and have been off of those foods for a few months now. Another thing we discovered at the appointments earlier this year was that the doctor thinks that I do have PCOS. We've kind of waffled back and forth over whether or not PCOS was an issue for me. In the beginning, they thought it might be, and then it seemed like maybe not, and then this doctor said yes, that she does believe that I have it. And the reason that they've waffled is because there's no test you could do to say yes or no, you have PCOS. You have to meet certain qualifications. I am kind of borderline on all of those qualifications, and so depending on the way that you look at it, I could either not quite have it or maybe just barely have it, but everything that we've been seeing so far seems to indicate that yes, PCOS is an issue for me. So quick side trail, ultimately PCOS is an insulin resistance issue. Commonly, this can cause you to not ovulate regularly, and so a lot of girls with PCOS will have missed periods or not have them for a long time. And that was one of the tricky things about me, is that I am fairly regular, although I'm not a perfect 28-day cycle, and it's hard to pinpoint sometimes when or if I've ovulated. Because PCOS is an insulin resistance issue, a lot of times that can mess with your blood sugar. And the doctor said that based on my results, it seems I'm moderating my blood sugar fairly well. But she said ultimately, whether or not I'm regulating well, I still have some level of insulin resistance. And that means it's just taking a higher level of insulin to maintain those healthy levels of blood sugar even though I am maintaining those healthy levels. So I'm on a supplement that helps to kind of make me more insulin sensitive so that I don't need those elevated levels of insulin to maintain a healthy level of blood sugar. Okay, so that is PCOS and what I've been doing to help with that. Now, how does that relate to fertility? Well, PCOS is kind of obvious. If you're not ovulating, you don't have an egg, you can't get pregnant. So I think that PCOS is probably the reason that it's been so difficult for us to get pregnant. With a thyroid condition, I don't think they exactly know why, but they do know that there is some sort of link between thyroid conditions and recurrent miscarriage. And so we are speculating that it's probably due to the thyroid issue that I've had trouble maintaining the pregnancy. The third thing that happened at these appointments earlier this year is that we learned of a treatment that I was not aware of called ovulation induction or timed intercourse. Basically, it's kind of the precursor to IUI or intrauterine insemination. It's gonna get really personal here, but they give you medication for 5 days to help promote egg growth. And then there's a trigger shot when you're ready to ovulate that helps to induce ovulation. And then rather than doing the insemination in the office, you just go home and you do that part, just the two of you. At the time, this kind of appealed to us. It seemed sort of a compromise between doing all the medications and the heavy-duty fertility treatments, but giving us some help along with all the natural things that we were trying to do. Over the summer, we talked about it and decided that, it's been 3 years now that we've been trying, and we're really just ready to have a baby. We're really ready. We wanted to give it a couple months of correcting the thyroid issues with the diet and the food that I'd taken out that was causing issues, and also on the supplement for the PCOS. And then if nothing happened in October, November, we decided that we were going to try the ovulation induction, and that would give us probably 2 rounds of it before the year ended and our deductible reset, and so insurance could help cover some of that. So it's October now, and we did not get pregnant naturally, so we decided to start doing the ovulation induction treatments. As of today, when I'm recording, we have finished the 5 days of the letrozole, which is the drug that helps to promote egg growth. This past Sunday, we went in to see if there were any eggs that had matured enough to induce ovulation. At the time, there were none. We went back Tuesday and we went back Thursday, which is today. There was still not much growth. So it looks like my ovaries have not been responding to the first dose that they gave me of the letrozole. I'm still waiting for a call back from the doctor to confirm, but most likely what we will do from here is restart the medication. Since I haven't ovulated yet, I can do it within this cycle. I will do another 5 days of the medicine, but I will do the next dosage up. So I'll do 2 pills a day instead of just 1 and see if that can help promote the egg growth. We're hopeful. Kind of a little disappointed that it didn't work the first time, but it makes sense to me now, especially the PCOS thing. I feel like even more confirmation that maybe that was the issue, since it's appearing that I'm not ovulating regularly on my own. It feels a little weird to be doing all this. I really like doing things naturally. I really try to stay away from pharmaceuticals and drugs as much as possible. But I struggle with feeling like, am I compromising what is important to me? Am I not trusting God? But there's a flip side to that too. I think can also not be trusting God to not do the medication. He created the people who created these medicines and the science to discover these things. So far, this is where we felt led to on our journey. I know for every person it's different. There's no rule book, there's no guidebook for me to follow, and so we just have to go with what we feel the Lord is leading us to. We just really appreciate all of you who have been walking this journey with us and supporting us. We hope to have good news for you soon, but we will keep you updated along the way. So thanks for watching. If you couldn't tell, we are a pretty open book about this. So if you have any questions, I'd love to hear them. I'd love to answer them for you. I'd love to help you know how better to pray for us and to walk with us on this journey. Please leave your thoughts and questions in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer them. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.